Good afternoon. We have a quorum. I'd like to call to order the Land Clearance Redevelopment Authority of the City of St. Louis for its regularly scheduled meeting held on Tuesday, February 25, 2025 at 3 p.m. Linda, will you call the roll, please?
Yeah. Commissioner Evans,
Present.
Commissioner Koenig,
Present.
Commissioner Spencer,
Present.
Commissioner Jones is not present. He's absent today, and Chair McBride.
I'm present.
You have a quorum with 4 present and 1 absent.
Thank you. At this time, we'd like to recognize Lindsay Evans, having just joined the board. Thank you. Welcome. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to speak up. We'll try to be cognizant of anything that's happened prior to you joining the board, but I am fallible, and so we may miss something. So we want you to be fully informed on anything that comes before us.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Perfect. With that being said, let's take up approval of the minutes for the meeting held on January 28, 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I second.
Moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Evans,
I am assuming I'll abstain from that.
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
Chair McBride,
Aye.
and the motion passes with 3 voting aye and 1 abstaining.
Very good. We'll take up resolution 25 LCRA 10908 relating to the Cordish Company's redeveloper for 200 South 4th Street redevelopment area. Zach, will you walk us through this, please?
Yes, sir.
If I could interrupt just 1 second. Sorry, Commissioner McBride. I'm going to recuse myself from this conversation.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, the minutes will so reflect. Zach, can you proceed, please?
Yes, sir. This resolution is designating the Cordish Companies as redevelopment of all the property located in 200 South 4th Street redevelopment area, improving and entering into a redevelopment agreement also. On September 24th, 2024, this board passed resolution 24 LCRA 10875. Within that resolution, I found that the redevelopment area was blighted and approved a redevelopment plan to assist in the redevelopment of the redevelopment of the area. After that, Building Vision on December 23rd, 2024, condemned parts of the structures on that parcel, which further shows the blight within that redevelopment area. After that, Gateway Arch Foundation disseminated a request for proposals to redevelop the area. The foundation requested them to be due on January 13th, 2025. And out of those proposals, the foundation has chosen the Cordish proposal. Within that proposal it's a typo in our resolution, I apologize. It says a 30-story building. It's actually a 41-story apartment building with 585 market rate units, 283 square feet of office space, 28,000 square feet of retail space, 33,000 square feet of outdoor amenity space, 8,000 square feet of food hall and winter garden, and 1,000 parking space garage. It'll be a little under $670 million. The resolution that was approved in September calls for 20 years of abatement based at 90%. We're still early in the process, so we haven't scored the project yet. This project and the redevelopment area still has to go to the Board of Aldermen, and we'll be back in front of you for any type of construction sales tax and any other type of incentive. We have Ryan McClure to speak on behalf of the Gateway Arch Foundation and have a presentation.
Great. Thank you,
Thank you,
Zach.
Zach. Mr. McClure, would you like to add any color to Zach's presentation, or I believe you may have some slides to show us?
Yes, so just adding a couple of things. I think Zach gave a great summary of where we've been. I'd just like to talk a little bit more about the RFP process and what we received. Um, as Zach said, we went under contract to purchase this property in late September. However, we have been working on this for 3 years to try to come to a solution at this property that is something that St. Louis deserves and can be proud of, and most importantly, makes this site, which is so critical in downtown St. Louis, an economic engine for our region again. We are committed to this. It is a risk that we are taking on, but we are doing it, and our board and our donors are doing this because we believe in it. We've quickly and efficiently moved through this process. We issued that RFP. We were very grateful to get 3 proposals, 3 qualified and complete proposals to redevelop the property. And as you all hopefully know, we attached the redevelopment plan to our RFP. The redevelopment plan that was approved by LCRA and the city's planning commission left open the question of whether the existing structures could be adaptive reuse, or if it would be demolishing the existing structures and starting over. All 3 responses that we received were for demolishing the existing structures and starting over. And of those proposals, Cordish really rose to the top. It was a competitive process, and we received some very good proposals. Cordish rose to the top because of their bold vision and track record of success, not only in St. Louis, but across the country, and their ability to financially get this done. And to us, that is one of the most important things, is that we get this done. St. Louis deserves this, and we want to see it happen. And that's one of the reasons that we've chosen Cordish and are presenting them here to you today. So I will turn it over to Mike LaMartina and Zed Smith from Cordish to present the project and their plans.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. My name is Zed Smith. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Cordish Companies. And as Ryan mentioned, we also have Mike LaMartina, who's the president of Ballpark Village. But I'm not a stranger to St. Louis. I've been working on the Ballpark Village project from its inception. It's been over 12, 13 years. Spent a lot of days and nights in St. Louis, and we're just so proud of where Ballpark Village is today. And we believe that the next iteration for this area of downtown, the fact that we have this tremendous opportunity with the Gateway Arch development, it's really going to be very, very impactful for this area of downtown. We're deeply honored to have been selected by the Gateway Arch Park Foundation for this transformative project. It will be a game changer, and that's why we wanted to be a part of it. This is a significant moment for our company. We take a great deal of pride in the trust of this project. It's a national and local treasure. We value that, and we will honor it with great care. At Cordish, as Ryan expressed earlier, we are involved with a number of large-scale developments of this magnitude across the country. And we believe that our experience, our financial strength, and our track record will ensure that this project gets executed successfully. The redevelopment of this project is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and I don't say that very lightly. Having been in this business for over 30 years, I've only seen a handful, and this is one of those opportunities that can really be a game changer for downtown St. Louis. You know, this project is more than just a development. It has the potential to be a catalyst for revitalizing the urban core, attracting new businesses and bringing more residents and visitors, and really driving the long-term economic growth of St. Louis. You know, when we came to St. Louis over 12 years ago, along with the stadium, it was pretty dark downtown, but we saw the potential in this area. and we believe strongly in it. You know, our collective vision is to create a thriving, dynamic downtown that strengthens the city, but also strengthens the region. The location presents a very attractive opportunity to kind of bridge the attractions that are in the area. There are some gaps, and we think by connecting this project with Ballpark Village and all the other attractions in the area, it will be a major have a major impact on the downtown core. You know, there's been some discussion about existing developments, competing developments. You know, our proposal is not about competition. It's about strengthening downtown as a whole. You know, we see this project as a natural complement for Ballpark Village. You know, it's an extension of Ballpark Village, and, you know, more is more here. For example, in Kansas City, Missouri, where we had 14 city blocks to develop, and we developed that over time, but it really did give us the strength and the muscle to really change downtown Kansas City, and we see that same opportunity here in this development opportunity. You know, more investment means more opportunity, more growth, and a stronger future for downtown St. Louis. You know, timing is everything in the real estate business, and we believe that time is now for us to execute on this project. You know, we've proven ourselves at Ballpark Village. We've continued to look to expand Ballpark Village, and we're confident in our ability to revitalize the Millennium Hotel site. You know, we've learned a lot over the years. We know the St. Louis market well, and we believe now is the time to double down our commitment to its future. Finally, this endeavor is more than just a project, it's a partnership. And we're going to need our partners, including the city, the state, the federal government, all to make this a successful endeavor. You know, as I stated earlier, we share a unified vision with the Gateway Arch Foundation to create a world-class destination that the people of St. Louis will take immense pride in. And we don't take that lightly. I think our efforts in St. Louis demonstrate how committed we are to the city and how committed we are to its future. You know, as one of the premier developers of large-scale mixed-use developments across the country, you know, our success is why cities choose us. You know, track record is everything in this business. When you're talking about these large-scale developments, these public-private partnerships, that experience, the financial strength, and the success and track records is what really drives these developments. So again, we're very, very excited about the opportunity. We look forward to working with our partners in St. Louis, and we do think that this is going to be a game changer for the downtown core. With that, I don't know where the title is on. I hope he is, but I'd like to turn things over to him at LJC Architects.
Thank you. Tyler Meyer is on, and I believe he just started sharing his screen.
Okay,
I did.
great.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Zed. I appreciate that. Also honored to be here and happy to be chosen as part of this amazing team that really came together to create a vision, an aspirational vision for the future that you heard from Ryan earlier. We wanted to talk just a little bit more in detail about how we think this plan can be that great addition to downtown you just heard about. You know, our goals for this project are more than just a great real estate development. You know, we want design excellence, but this also has to come with community and economic impact. It has to align with other investments happening downtown. It has to connect to those investments. It should be an inclusive place. And in order to do that, the vibrancy that you see in Ballpark Village will extend here, but in a new way with, you know, outdoor event spaces, market spaces, a great public landscape, just the right retail, great architecture, and spaces that work all year round. It's also really important this project is really rooted in St. Louis, and forms and materials here are inspired by part of our culture and our local history. You know, the flow of the Mississippi, the limestone bluffs that align it, the confluence point that it is that brought together amazing use of stone, brick, terracotta, to the forward-thinking stainless steel of the arch that could all be reflected in the materiality of this place. When we talk about some of that programming at the ground level, we're always thinking of, you know, what does this look like out as we look out over the the grounds to the arch, and with an amphitheater space that could hold both local events. Imagine 500 people here, 1,000 people, but still a comfortable place for people to be at other times, where we can host really a wide range of community engagement events. We also think this is, a part of the network of event spaces and venues downtown that really makes this an exciting place to visit. We're well positioned to connect not only to the Arch grounds, but to future Gateway South, redevelopments happening on Laclede's Landing, and of course the mall and all the investments that are already happening in our sports and entertainment infrastructure. As we get a little closer to the site, really thinking about how Clark Street becomes a direct connection from Ballpark Village and of course the other venues to the west through this site to the arch, creating in a way a loop of activity that links in the GRG brick line, improvements that are already happening at the ground floor. It's also really important that the garage that sits between Broadway and 4th is rethought, and we want to work with them to create some retail opportunities, perhaps some reskinning to make that connectivity easier and more effective. There's also a great opportunity to bridge and improve the connections across the highway, the infrastructure that's there. What comes together is something that we hope is striking, allows people to vision their future being here, a mixture of uses that's really a reflection of our region on the riverfront and really becomes that welcoming place. This mixture of uses is important and we'll have to respond to the market, but we have a large residential component, office component. We really think jobs as a part of this environment, the retail, event space, the amphitheater that we mentioned, the Arch Archives as another draw and connectivity to the activity of the Arch, all important to making this a great place to work, a great place to live, a great place to visit. And, we're just starting to look here at how you would start to, as you get closer to these buildings, you start to feel the texture, materiality, and colors of our downtown and our region. And this becomes another great place for people to gather and to create memories, a food and music focused series of venues that builds off and complements what's happening in Ballpark Village. We also want to make sure that this is a place that really leads the way from a sustainability standpoint. And that means making sure that these buildings are viable for the long-term future, but also ensuring that we have a comfortable environment at the ground level. We're responsible stewards of our resources, and we make this a place that's as usable for the largest part of the year that we can. Just another one of the special event spaces we see happening here. We call this the Watershed. It's a food hall, a winter garden, event space, a place for people in St. Louis who always love their landscapes, from the Arch Grounds, Forest Park, Botanical Gardens, a place to see that same kind of landscape inside all year round, but also an open, connective place with views of the Arch every day. And, we talked a little bit about that Arch Archives as an anchor and a connectivity to the Arch grounds. We want this to be a site that people can flow through, to be an inclusive and open, connective environment with opportunities for local businesses to participate in, whether that's through an office space or a cafe space or hosting events here. We really wanted to think about too, like, what is the future of the St. Louis skyline? This is a city with a rich architectural heritage, but our immediate riverfront buildings maybe aren't feeling as relevant to those people looking for places to live or work today. And I think Ryan mentioned it earlier, we did look at those existing buildings as an opportunity to reuse them, but really felt like there was a chance here to do something striking and new, engaging for our community. So we wanted to just, share a few more details of our plan and really open it up for questions. But as everyone said, our goal here is to create something that's for everyone in St. Louis to be proud of, to come see and be a part of.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer. Who else do we have speaking on this resolution, Zach?
That is it, sir.
That is it. All right.
Yep.
Are there any questions from the commissioners to Lamar Johnson Collaborative, to Cordish, to the staff at LCRA. Recognize Commissioner Spencer's hand.
Thank you, Chairman McBride. First, I want to just thank Arch to Park Foundation and Cordish for the time, money, and vision that you've put into this plan. You know, a lot of the feedback that I'm getting is so positive. And in St. Louis, we really care what things look like. And if you're getting a majority of people saying this is a good looking project, I think you're on the right track. So thank you for that. Mr. Smith, you talked a little bit about Ballpark Village, and one of the questions that I have is this project, the Millennium Site project, at either or both for the third phase of Ballpark Village? Because I know we talked a little bit about this in 2021, but inflation, construction costs, and higher interest rates were kind of delaying that. So maybe you could speak to if we're going to be able to get all these projects done.
Yeah, well, it's not an either or in our minds, and obviously there's a lot of work to be done. These are very expensive developments. It will take a partnership, as I mentioned earlier, but we're very bullish at this point. You know, as I mentioned earlier, we know the St. Louis market. We know, what's working and what's not working. We do feel that this site is superior and that it should be able to move forward in a timely fashion. So we don't see this as an either or. We do see that we're going to be able to deliver this project as we proposed.
Thank you. And I guess one question for Mr. McClure, is there a, we've seen some projects in St. Louis where we have beautiful renderings and then, sites are demoed and then we sit back and we watch year after year, and sometimes it can take 5, 10, 15 years. In the Arch grounds, there's a good example of, almost 40 or 50 years it took to get it going. So do you have any plans to protect the existing structures? I know there wasn't any specific proposal for the existing buildings, but they do have federal and state tax credits. They have tax abatement, brownfields. They've got a lot of other incentives that could make a project there work. Mm-hmm. So just maybe you could speak to that a little bit.
I want to make sure I understand the question, Commissioner Spencer. What are you asking? Like, do we have plans to protect the structures? Sorry.
The question is, are we planning to move forward with the demo without a schedule or financing or other protections in place for the existing buildings?
Right. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it. We're going to be working directly with Cordish, and just from an overall perspective, we trust in this partnership to get this done. Not getting something done, frankly, is a reputational risk for the foundation that we would take very seriously. It's a reputational risk for Cordish, for everyone involved. So we're going to make sure that we've got very good confidence in this moving forward quickly before the buildings are demolished. But we need to be real about the fact that we kept this open. We sought proposals for adaptive reuse. There were none. There was no one interested in doing that. And the state of the buildings is in deterioration. And we've done all of the studies and paid a lot of money to do studies to look into that. And every day they're deteriorating more. So we've got a situation there that's not great. So we will likely need to move quickly, but to your point, Commissioner Spencer, and you're absolutely right. We need to be sure that this is actually going to happen.
I appreciate that those comments, and there's been a lot of discussion around this in the past. We've made some mistakes, and I really appreciate the fact that you went through the process. You asked for proposals, you received proposals, you evaluated those proposals, and you picked the best option. So I think that was very well done, and I just thank you again for the investment into the site.
Sure, thank you.
All right, recognize Commissioner Koenig's hand. You're still muted, Lori.
Thank you, Chairman McBride. I do want to kind of echo Commissioner Spencer's positions and comments about how I appreciate everyone's commitment to this effort and to downtown St. Louis. It's really an exciting proposal. And really, the only comment that I have is I just want to say how much I appreciate the obvious effort that was put into echo like the existing skyline of the buildings in a way that is new and fresh and exciting, but it doesn't eliminate the historical memory, I guess, of what was there before. And still, you can still recognize it as you come across the bridge that's our St. Louis. And that's what our riverfront has always looked like, except now it's just newer and fresher and much more, of course, usable. So I just want to tell you that I recognize that, and I certainly appreciate that effort.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anything else from the commissioners? I recognize President Neil Richardson's hand.
I just wanted to ensure that the commissioners had a chance to chime in before I made a brief statement. First and foremost, I want to thank Ryan for his willingness to step up and the Gateway Arch Foundation in our conversations over the last 3 years. This has been a project that has been a sore eye for the city of St. Louis for the last almost decade now. As you all have known, Busch Stadium, Cardinals games, we see camera shots of the Arch, then we see camera shots of the Millennium Hotel site. And what we are hoping to inspire through this new development that's being proposed by the Cordish Group is something that our constituents in the city of St. Louis can be proud of. As Commissioner Koenig said, this is our St. Louis, and being able to still recognize our St. Louis, but have a new refreshed vision for what that looks like is important. And then being able to show that to the world, whether it's through sporting events or having visitors come in to the Gateway Arch grounds. Also, earlier I had conversations with Ryan about making sure that every SLPS student has the opportunity to visit the Arch, being able to see this new development take place and something that they will really be able to benefit from is something that I'm personally excited about. This can be a new gem for St. Louis and the new front door for the state of Missouri. Zed, I want to take you on every pitch tour that I have about St. Louis. You were great. Just being excited about bringing investment into downtown. And the slide that you all showed, Tyler, saying investing in downtown is a strong statement for many folks who may have lost hope in the future of downtown. And we're setting a new vision for where downtown can be. We're creating a new era for downtown and seeing us grow and build off of rich history of downtown St. Louis and growing that into other areas within our central business district. I can't even count on more than one hand how many phone calls I've received from business owners that are downtown that are excited and wanting to hear more about what type of office space is going to be provided. So again, that's an exciting conversation and opportunity that we have before us to show there is demand for office, there is demand for residential. We just have to bring the right product to market. And I believe the proposal that Cordish placed forward and the leadership of Ryan McClure and the Gateway Arch Foundation has really set us up for strong success, but also want to talk about the collaboration between the public, private, and philanthropic partners. For far too long, we've seen a lack of collaboration, but it requires all of us coming together to bring a major project like this forward. And I'm really proud of the collaboration between those various sectors coming together with one shared vision of what can happen at this site and can really set a tone for how we create new development opportunities in our entire St. Louis region, but specifically for downtown St. Louis. So again, thank you, Mike, Zed, Tyler, for your presentation. and Ryan for your leadership, and the LCRA staff and board for their support of this project.
Thank you. And I recognize Ryan McClure's hand.
Yeah, I just want to just talk about what Neil just said. This partnership to date has been wonderful. We cannot say enough good things about the partnership with SLDC and LCRA and the city, and now expanding this to Cordish. This is what St. Louis can do when we work together in these public-private partnerships. Public-private partnerships are in our DNA. It's how we were founded in 2009. We don't know how to do anything differently than that. And so this is how this is going to get done. This is how it has to get done. And the partnership that's been built to date is going to get this done. And I'm very grateful and proud of that partnership with LCRA, SLDC, and Greater St. Louis Inc. I don't want to. We need to. I really want to acknowledge the strong partnership that we've had with Dustin and the entire team and over there. This is part of an overall plan and momentum for downtown. So I'm very grateful to Greater St. Louis Inc. as well.
Thank you, Ryan. And I'll recognize Mike LaMartina's hand as well.
I echo all the sentiments, and thank you for that, Mr. McBride, but I echo all the sentiments of collaboration and positivity here, and understand this is a large step and a lengthy process to come, and we're very excited by this whole process, everything that we brought forward. But to Neil's point, this also creates a very meaningful opportunity for the phasing yet to come in this whole process, where we are now generating excitement outside of just what's to be created, but in the attraction, the retaining, the job opportunities, all of these other seismic effects of a development of this magnitude, and getting cranes in the air and something to be so proud of as corporate stewardship now descends upon us. And it's no longer a story of who's leaving downtown, but who wants to be part of something downtown. And that's one of our greatest measures of success as we look at these plans, because it not only puts a big focus on this front door of St. Louis, but also what's to happen up and down this riverfront and continuous development. And as we re-engage all of these parties back in a high focus of the success of downtown St. Louis, and that sits at the center of everything that we're looking to achieve here. And we appreciate all the support in getting this far thus far. So thank you all.
Absolutely. Thank you, and thank you to the partners. And I'm heartened to see even additional attention to the continuing to engage the arch grounds to the downtown. So it's not an island. So it's part of our fabric of the downtown and continues to be so. That's exciting to extend that vision that Eero Saarinen had back in the 1960s that we let go somewhat and then it recently have re-engaged that. And it's heartening to see visitors come across the Greenway above what we call the underpass to now go to the arch grounds, which have been redesigned and are just fabulous. So this is an outstanding example of everything we can do when we put our minds to it. And as you say, Mr. LaMartina, shows that people are coming back. So with all that being said, I'm going to call for entertain a motion to approve Resolution 25 LCRA 10908.
So move, Spencer.
I second.
Properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
and Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with 3 voting yes and 1 recusal.
Thank you. Thank you all and good luck on it. We look forward to seeing you as you continue to engage in this project.
Thank you all so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
And can we note to Ms. Evans to rejoin us, and we'll pause during that process. And as my screen is reconfiguring, let me know when Lindsay does get back.
Don't fear yet.
Okay, but she's been notified.
Yes.
Thank you. And Zach, we have attendees for both the next two resolutions, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Evans rejoins. We'll take up Resolution 25 LCRA 10909 relating to taxable industrial revenue bonds for 4974 Lindell.
She's
Oh,
on.
no.
Thank you. All right, Lindsay, we're ready to pick up at 10909. Zach, if you would begin the process of walking us through that, please.
Yes, sir. This board approved resolution 25 LCRA 10903 last month, designating developer AK St. Louis Owner LLC as the developer for 4974 Lindell Boulevard. It's just a recap of the project. This one is 30 stories. It takes in 305 market rate residential apartments, 1,500 square feet of commercial space, and 308 parking spaces, which will be built within inside the building. LCRA is approving 10 years of abatement at 75%. This resolution is, as some of you commissioners have been on the board a little bit longer, there's a second resolution that follows the designation of developer for to authorize issue of taxable industrial bonds to allow for construction sales tax abatement on construction materials. We got Andrew Yule, David Sweeney, and Sam Koppler on behalf of the developer to answer any questions you have. And then we also have Mark Speicherman to answer any questions on the process of the issuance of these bonds. So they'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Zach. Let's take it from the developer team. So if we have any more additional updates on progress from Mr. Koppler, Mr. Yule, Mr. Sweeney.
Sure, thank you. Thanks for having us today. Oh, I'm frozen. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having us. We're continuing to make progress through the bidding efforts, and obviously St. Louis is a rather difficult town to build in. I just think that's the natural truth of it. There's other issues, external pressures that are being hit upon us in today's world. And then we're starting to see that filter down through the construction pricing as well, in terms of the idea of tariffs and other types of price increases that are pressures that are being put on the general contractor and subcontracting base. But overall, we're continuing to make great progress. We're looking to break ground in the summer and continuing to move the project forward.
Thank you, Mr. Yule. Anything from Mr. Koppler, Mr. Sweeney?
No, I mean, we're tremendously excited about it. We're happy with the the updates to design. We had a very constructive meeting with our neighbors at the Central West End Association, as well as the St. Regis. We introduced the changes that we've made over the past year or so. So the feedback has been very positive, and we're excited to keep moving.
Outstanding. Mr. Sweeney, you've unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I'm just here if there's any questions, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Outstanding. Why don't we go ahead and let Mr. Sparkerman complete the overview of the process for us, and then if there's any questions after that, we'll open it up for the commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner McBride. As Zach mentioned earlier, we typically do the sales tax exemption process over 2 meetings. The first one being the designation of the redeveloper meeting, which you did last month, which you would do for any normal LCRA project, and then a subsequent resolution approving the actual bond documents that facilitate the sales tax exemption, which is the resolution before you. These documents are in form similar to what the LCRA has used before, and similarly to those other bond issues. The bonds are payable only from lease revenues made by the developer. They're not payable from any tax or other revenue of the city or the LCRA. and that the developer will be required to provide a data point for us as we continue to track the efficiency of this incentive.
Thank
Happy
you,
to
Mr.
answer
Sparkman. And what's the amount of the bond that's going to be requested?
This authorizes up to 145 million, which represents the cost of the project plus a cushion.
Okay, I was going to ask about where we were at on a cushion with the comments that Mr. Yule made, and those were well taken. Okay, so we've got that taken care of, because yeah, just so they don't have to come back and add more to anything down the road. Very good. So any questions from the commissioners at this stage to either Mr. Sparkman or the development team? All right, well, outstanding. Mr. Sparkman, you've done an outstanding job of explaining it then, so we're well on the road. But everyone will be back in front of us to get the second step of this process for the taxable industrial revenue bonds and provide us any further updates at that time. So if there's nothing else for Mr. Sparkman or the development team, I would entertain a motion to approve Resolution 25 LCRA 10909.
So move, Spencer.
I second.
Properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Thank you. Good luck, and we look forward to hearing more from you as this progresses.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we'll take up Resolution 25 LCRA 10912 relating to Second Amendment for Master Redevelopment Agreement on the Gateway South project. Zach, will you kick us off on this, please?
Yes, actually, our outside counselor, Mark Spikerman, will be speaking on this resolution, and Mike Fletcher from Gateway South. So I'll hand it off to Mark, please.
Thank you, Zach. For those of you who've been on the commission for a while, you may remember that back in 2023, this overall larger project was presented to both the LCRA and the Port Authority, and that the LCRA, the Port Authority, and the developer entered into a master redevelopment agreement for a whole district, sometimes called the Gateway District, or at one point I think it was called Shoto's Landing. That redevelopment agreement included certain timeframes in which the developer was to acquire property and make other progress toward completing the vision. Subsequent to that original redevelopment agreement, we did have a first amendment, which extended some times for acquiring the property. And Mike Fletcher, who will speak after me, can talk about their progress on that end. And also just tweaking a few other things to make the overall vision more feasible. Before you today is a proposed resolution that would approve a second amendment to the master redevelopment agreement. That also extends the date for acquiring the property by a little bit, and then tweaks a provision that originally had required a nonprofit corporation be created for managing public spaces. As we looked at the role of that corporation vis-a-vis a community improvement district that was frankly already planned to be part of it, the area as well, it was deemed they were kind of redundant. So we've tweaked the language in that section to make sure that there's, you can have one or the other. You don't necessarily need to do the nonprofit corporation if the CID is able to take that role on. Happy to answer any other questions. Otherwise, I can hand it off to Mike, who can provide an update on the project status.
One question on that, Mr. Sparkman. The length of time on the SID, how is that currently contemplated then with this amendment?
Yeah, the SID has not been created yet. It would be petitioned through the Board of Aldermen once the property, the developer owns the property that they want in the CID, which they're almost there, but not quite yet. And then the state law allows the SID to exist for 27 years. And so we would anticipate when the SID petition to create the SID is eventually filed, I would imagine it would be for the full 27 years.
Okay, very good. Mr. Fletcher, could you add us any additional updates, please?
Sure. Thank you, Chair McBride, and thanks, Mark, for the introduction. As Mark alluded to, we're working through a number of things. It's a large district, 95 acres in downtown. And there's no shortage of work to do to get the project into its next phase. And so, we're actively working through the acquisition of the balance of the phase one properties. We have acquired the majority of those, as well as a substantial number of properties, additional parcels in our redevelopment area that aren't designated as phase one properties. And so we are hopeful that we will be able to acquire those this year and also get construction started this year down in Gateway South.
Could you add some more context to the where you are on the project, on the property acquisition, how many you've acquired or have under control, or at least options on, and what's percentage of what's left? I don't want to hamstring you guys or anything, but to the extent you can give us some more context to that, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. So I think that I'm talking off the top of my head now, I think there are 14 parcels that are part of the phase one properties. I think we've acquired 9 of those. And the remaining ones are all with one, it's just one remaining deal that needs to be worked out with one remaining owner, but owns the balance of those properties. And then outside of the phase one properties, I think we own a total of at least 10 other parcels in the redevelopment area. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but that's what I'm able to provide you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fletcher. And this December 31, 2025 extension is one that's achievable?
Yes, very much so.
Very good. And then I see Madeline Swanstrom. I believe memory serves, she's also associated with this project. Madeline, is anything?
Oh, no, I work for SLDC.
You're with us. That's why.
Yes.
That's why it is Madeline. There's
I
some
always have my
memories, but they're
camera
not
turned
the
off,
right
so-
memories. They're not the right ones. Very good. Thank you. Then any questions from the commissioners for Mr. Fletcher or Mr. Speckerman on this? Yes, Commissioner Koenig.
What was the original date? It's being extended to December 25. What was the original date?
In the first amendment, we had amended, it was, I believe, June 30th of 2024, which of course is obviously passed now, but we have been in constant contact with the developer throughout that. So we were just waiting until we knew a feasible date to bring the amendment forward.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve Resolution 25 LCRA 10912.
I so move. Koenig.
Second, Spencer.
Okay, moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer.
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Fletcher. We appreciate it and look forward to the progress continuing on this.
Thank you.
Do we have anything in open agenda at this time?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Then I'm going to rely on our legal counsel, Ms. Finley. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session and here's where we fill in for me, Ms. Finley, the following purposes of.
To discuss matters involving leasing, purchase, or sale of real estate is provided by 610-021, Section 2.
Perfect. Is there such a motion?
So move.
I second.
Moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Evans,
Aye.
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
and Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Thank you. At this time, we'll go into executive session. We will return back into open session prior to close of meeting. Thank you. My apologies, I had a technical issue at the end. Do we have anything in open agenda?
No, sir.
All right, then at this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Seconded, Evans.
Moved and seconded. We've completed our agenda. We are adjourned. Thank you all. We appreciate it.
Bye.
Nice to meet you, Lindsay.
Nice to meet you too.
Take care.